high tensions between police and soldiers. Dataco reaches milestones to improve connectivity. And boxing championships into semi-finals.
This is National MTV News with Lorraine Genia.
Good evening and thanks for joining me for Friday's news. One man is dead, a PNG Defence Force soldier wounded, and 2 police officers injured following a car chase in Port Moresby last night. The details of the stolen vehicle were withheld by police, but it is understood the police officers chasing the vehicle fired warning shots which eventually killed the driver. This morning, 3 police vehicles were damaged by members of the public and roadblocks set up by police to prevent opportunists from looting nearby shops. Tekla Gunga reports.
According to confirmed police reports, the deceased driver was driving a vehicle identified on police radio last night as a stolen vehicle. There was a car chase which lasted for 20 minutes from Tokarara to Waigani and later into Morata. Gunshots were fired by police officers which killed the driver and injured the offsider, who is a Defence Force soldier. This morning, there were minor confrontations between members of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary and the PNG Defence Force. A number of roadblocks were set up at Waigani and Manu Auto Port after members of the public damaged 3 police vehicles.
As of this morning, we have met the senior officers from RPNDC. We have met with the senior officers from PNGDF to look into the tension which occurred from the incident last night.
A joint media conference between police and defense at 12 today saw both forces planning to take immediate actions on those involved. However, when media personnel asked what immediate actions or which investigators will do the investigations, no officers' names were disclosed. But it is understood the disciplinary heads will take appropriate actions against the officers involved.
It is my commander's intent that this matter be dealt with immediately. And we have talked these issues through with the police hierarchy here. And they have assured us that all those involved with the incident will be dealt with today, immediately.
The confrontations today has again interrupted bus services for Port Moresby residents travelling out of Manu Auto Port and disrupted the sales of vegetable sellers. Business houses at Boroko and 4 Mile areas closed as early as 10 this morning, and some remained closed until the end of today. Following a meeting between senior officers from the 2 disciplinary forces, a preliminary investigation team will be set up to further investigate this case. Tekla Gunga, National MTV News.
A grade 11 Killa secondary student was wounded by a gunshot he believed was fired by an expatriate shop owner in Port Moresby this morning. The 20-year-old, who refused to speak on camera, said he was on his way to school when he was shot. The incident occurred around the same time the 3 police vehicles were destroyed at Manu's Auto Port. MTV spoke to Gibson Otto, the man who helped take the student to the nearby Port Moresby General Hospital. PNG Dataco Limited today launched its new customer point of interconnection, which connects the LNG fibre to Dataco's customer point of interconnection in Port Moresby. The project is proof that Dataco is on target to implement the National Transmission Network, which aims to provide high-speed communication at low cost. Minister for Public Enterprise and State Investments, Ben Micah, launched the customer point of interconnection, calling it the Information Superhighway.
The launch of the Dataco customer point of interconnection took place this afternoon in a small but significant ceremony. Dataco Managing Director Paul Comboy said Dataco has now commercialized the government's initiative of connecting the LNG fibre cable from Caution Bay to Port Moresby.
With the commercializing, that means that you have very high-speed pipe now traveling from here all the way to islands. In terms of telecommunications, it's no longer wireless now. It's through fiber. So you can put as much data as possible to be able to transmit between here and the islands.
Minister for Public Enterprise and State Investments, Ben Micah, said the government wants to see effective high-speed infrastructure network.
When we talk about the information superhighway, we are actually traveling on the information superhighway, because this is what brings business into countries that are moving ahead in the cutting edge of technology and knowledge, the cutting edge of marketing, industry, and driving tremendous changes that are taking place around the world in governments, in companies.
The event also saw the launch of Dataco's new website.
The website tells us about Dataco itself, what we are doing, what we are offering in terms of the services. It also talks about what new projects that are in the pipeline for us, the ongoing projects that we are undertaking.
According to Minister Micah, the government has its sights set on even bigger projects, such as a new national submarine fiber cable network and satellite project. This is part of the government's aim to see 100% of the country's population have access to communication in 10 years' time.
This connection is going to make us become more competitive. You need to make sure that digital connects to this network, that B-Mobile connects to it, that Telecom connects to it, and NICTA should open up the communication industry so that through this level playing field, we have more players so that costs can come down and efficiency can enable consumers to be accessible to affordable, high-speed communication services.
Deli Waigeno, National MTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill opened the 70 million Kina Kagamuga International Airport in Mount Hagen yesterday. He announced that the Kagamuga International Airport will have its first international flight next year to Jayapura, Indonesia. He also announced that the next phase of improving the airport will be the extension of the runway. The government has already spent 7 billion Kina on building and rebuilding the country's infrastructure. Mr. O'Neill said Mount Hagen will be given priority projects in 2016.
Western Islands province taso, Highlands na pride blow yogada. Must build me now we plus start finish one time kapal house, you plus our finish amas here, and kapal house bend down time we stop yet the corner. Time we become the government, we start the walking name come up now. That's important. Government and we focus on this land. Government and we also focus on putting money inside the one district now. Money work la go lo ogada pro district na change work la come up lo ogada. Lo day, lo Mulbaya, lo Tambul, lo ogada. Papua New Guinea, one kind of person work come up.
Hagen is second busiest airport to Port Moresby. Just humble and so proud to ask you to open this airport, which is an important airport for the country.
Last night was a night of celebration as nationally owned small to medium enterprises were rewarded at the Institute of Banking and Business Management's annual SME Leadership Awards. Leandra Ari with more.
Often overlooked, SMEs are the engine of growth in any economy and need to be developed. This was the consensus at this year's SME Awards, where 400 attendees witnessed some of the best SMEs awarded for the excellence shown in their standard of performance. In an exclusive interview with Business PNG, Executive Director of IBBM Shweta Sood congratulated the winners and applauded their community capacity building.
The most rewarding part of it is when we really work on capacity building of the SME businesses, when they get the value of the services, and we are very thankful to our sponsor ExxonMobil that they started this whole initiative rolling, and the IBBM board that they started, they continued this initiative beyond the construction phase of the project as well, and that's what is the real feeling. That's what, which not just me, it brings the entire staff of IBBM, the entire team of IBBM to come to work every morning with the feeling that we will be helping another small business, we'll be helping another entrepreneur, we'll be helping another individual, to be successful in their work or business or lives.
Some of the night's awardees included the Women's Microbank Limited for their excellence in business management, Pacific Computers Limited for the award of asset and inventory control, and Sunday Chronicle Limited for the HR Management Award. The winner for the night's two main accolades went to Lifu Holdings Limited for Best Performing SME and Global Customs and Forwarding Limited for Most Improved SME.
I'm ecstatic. Of course, I'm very happy because this award is not just for me, but it is for the hundreds of staff that we employ. It's for the family that support them, and it's for our customers.
The SME Awards for Leadership is an initiative of the IBBM Enterprise Center to recognize leading national businesses and organizations that shine in the internationally accepted standards of business management. I'm Leanne Gerari reporting for National MTV News.
52 unclaimed bodies kept at the Lays Angao General Hospital morgue were finally laid to rest at the 2nd 7 Cemetery in a mass burial after almost 11 months. Lay City Manager Roy Cummins says they had to remove the bodies to make space for new ones. Majority of the bodies belong to Angao General Hospital patients who died at the hospital.
This morning, the Lay City Council workers removed 52 unclaimed bodies from the Angao Hospital's morgue. The bodies had been in the morgue and this container for almost 11 months. Half of the total numbers of corpses were babies. The Lay City Council was approached by Angao Hospital CEO to remove the bodies and make room for new ones. 2 weeks ago, the City Council put out notices for relatives to claim the bodies. But only 2 relatives of the 2 bodies claimed their bodies. Lay City Manager Roy Cummins says it is not good for the City Council to carry out a mass burial, but they have been forced to do so.
But we have been forced to do it because we have no other choice. We have no option but to make sure this morgue is cleared up now.
Mr. Cummins is appealing to the relatives of the people they put in at the morgue to give them a decent burial. He says they need to go to their villages and be buried there. The unclaimed bodies were transported in 2 trucks from the hospital to the 2nd 7 public cemetery. There they were laid to rest. This situation also highlighted the need to expand the morgue space. Mata Luis, National MTV News, Lay.
Back to the issue on tensions in Port Moresby. Businesses in the nation's capital were again affected by tensions between the police and soldiers this morning. 5 main shops in Boroko, a few at 3 Mile and Manu Autoport closed their doors for at least 5 hours. Main banks in Boroko were closed and customers turned away as police tightened up security. Quinton Alomp reports.
Port Moresby police are on high alert following the incident. At around 8 last night, a police unit shot and killed the driver of a vehicle at the Telecom Compound Road junction leading to Morata suburb. The other passenger in the vehicle, later identified as a soldier, sustained serious injuries. Eyewitnesses who declined to speak on camera says police chased bystanders who rushed to the scene. Eyewitnesses say a woman was with the 2 victims. This morning, tensions were high. Shops at Boroko, 3 Mile and Manu Autoport were closed. Soldiers retaliated, damaging a police vehicle and wounding at least 2 police officers. Police told MTV News that a suspected car chase started from North Waigani to Tokarara and gunshots were exchanged, which resulted in the shooting. But eyewitnesses say they had a number of shots fired from police vehicle and not from the civilian vehicle. The soldier identity was not released. However, MTV was told that both men are from Enga province and the soldier is a member of the Delta Company based at Tarama Barracks. Last year, a similar incident between the 2 forces has resulted in the looting of shopping centers. Such incidents have done little to improve the image of both agencies of government. Quinton Alomp, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. More local headlines after the break. Stay tuned. Landowners of the area where the Pacific Marine Industrial Zone projects will be operating are querying promises made by the Trade and Commerce Minister Richard Maru and Prime Minister Peter O'Neill at the launching of the project on Tuesday in Madang. They want to know how much of 30,000 jobs is for locals and what the terms and conditions are of getting a $95 million loan from China.
At the launching of the PMIZ project on Tuesday, the Prime Minister Peter O'Neill acknowledged the Trade and Commerce Minister Richard Maru's announcement of a total of 30,000 jobs to be created by the project.
Also, Minister Maru total 30,000 jobs. 30,000 jobs and one bla money workload is lab. I mean, napla look at him for at least 4 or 5 bla beginning inside of family blend. And yet, Mary blend or man blend, 1 time 2 or 3 bla beginning. Suppose you double him this la number, amas man Mary but this la factory na this la business bla you may look at them. Over 150,000 people.
According to the Madang People's Forum Chairman Alfred Kaket, the people are now querying the promises made at the launching.
10,000 we governor blow Madang itoklo honorable Jim Castoklo and come out lo Madang. I think throughout lo Madang province. But Western people blow Madang that 20,000 and become we. Become lo Papua New Guinea or come lo Asia or Onemak. So Minister Trade Commerce and Industry, please, you come out clear and talk out straight to people blow Madang.
Kaket says they would like to know the terms and conditions of getting a 200 million kina loan from China.
Government extends the loan. Only more kind of some requirements how lo this la loan only kisim lo this la Exim Bank. I'm by him. This people blow Madang, people blow Papua New Guinea need lo sawe.
This is also stressed by Chris Kassiam, a Vidar landowner.
Peter O'Neill, please, me like him, you know, Richard Maru must work him clear lo this la because inside lo this la Exim Bank sample terms and conditions and tokol sem. The PMIZ area, by only ronim bien him low blow China. And then you as a Prime Minister, how would you feel when that area is governed by Chinese law and you have your own law? It's a shame for me as a local guy at home. Me pilim nongu through ya. Lo you me ronim one part of that province benim law blow China, na the rest lo Papua New Guinea law.
Kassiam is also questioning the percentage that landowners will get from the revenue generated by the project.
PMIZ Bill .111 where Prime Minister you will been gesedim long Parliament em toko some 95% this 2 billion where you come na you launch him long Tuesday. But belong all investors. 3% em belong national government, 2% em belong provincial government. What about the landowners?
The Prime Minister Peter O'Neill at the launching mentioned that the government will assign officials to attend to people's queries at the site.
Or Salaman Bloyumilo department, but come na stop here and work one time more people. So make him sure work it go right. Make him sure work it go right. And good blow also Molman talk sawe. That's all. Sindan lo table na talk na you may harem totoke go come and good blow way. No can you me delay this la project lo narbla 11 years.
However, the landowners still demand to have a proper dialogue with the government.
I'm delay 11 years. I'm a delay yet. No matter what, I'm a delay yet.
Me plan no care whether I'm 11 years or 20 years or 100 years delay, we will still continue until we walk out.
Rachel Shise, National MTV News, Madang.
Deputy Opposition Leader Sam Bassel says any legislation that comes on the floor of Parliament to ban the export of raw tuna will be supported. 2 days ago at the launching of Madang's Pacific Marine Industrial Zone, Fisheries Minister Mao Zemming announced policies that will ensure downstream processing of tuna in the country. But Bassel says the national government must not make grand announcements and not make it happen.
Madang's Pacific Marine Industrial Zone, once completed, will have 9 canneries operating at Vidar. Once the 9 canneries are in operation, Papua New Guinea's tuna export value will jump by 50% from 200 million kina to 400 million kina. To ensure that this happens, the Papua New Guinean government has plans to pass a series of laws to ensure that Papua New Guinea's economy benefits from tuna processed on the 9 canneries in Madang. But the country's deputy opposition leader Sam Basil says the national government mustn't make grand announcements and not make it happen.
Any legislation that comes on the floor to ban export of raw tuna, we will support.
PNG's Fisheries Minister Mao Zemming made the policy announcements on Tuesday at the PMIZ launching in Madang.
Starting next year, this government will introduce a policy that fishing companies that fish in our internal archipelagic waters shall process 100% of their catches in PNG. We will also reintroduce or reinforce a policy of no mother ship transshipment in our exclusive economic zone.
This isn't the first time a key state minister has made an announcement to ban export of raw material from Papua New Guinea. An impending ban on the export of round logs from PNG still has to be passed on the floor of Parliament. The country's Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says the government wants to create jobs for the people as the economy changes and expands.
We want to encourage industries to get in the PMIZ area so that we can give them some concessions so they can build factories and build employment opportunities for our people.
Only time will tell if the Papua New Guinean government will stay true to its word and pass the laws on the floor of Parliament to ban the export of tuna and ensure that Papua New Guinea's economy benefits enough to pay back the 200 million kina concessional loan from China's Exim Bank taken initially to build the Pacific Marine Industrial Zone. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Lae.
Over 600 students graduated from the Balala Technical School yesterday. The district authority aims to train enough carpenters, heavy machinery fitters and mechanics for rural development. Balala MP Sam Basil said tradespeople with such skills in Papua New Guinea's districts would help rural communities develop.
"605 students graduated from the Balala Technical School yesterday. Students graduated with technical certificates in mechanics, welding and carpentry, amongst other trades. Balala MP Sam Basil spoke at the graduation and said he wants the graduates to use the skills and knowledge to develop their communities. He said the district administration is not spending money on expensive education overseas. Technical schools in rural parts of the country need funding support from the national government.
I think every vocational schools in Papua New Guinea, including technical schools as such, must be properly given funds equally so that they can.
In 2012, when the Balala MP and Deputy Opposition Leader Sam Basil was Minister for Planning, he allocated national government funding of 1.8 million kina into the Balala Technical School to upgrade facilities. Today, inspections of the 8 houses, 2 dormitories and an ablution block was done to see how well those funds were implemented. The Balala District Development Authority aims to develop the technical school into an institute similar to that of Lae's National Polytechnic Institute. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Lae.
Solwara 1 project developer Nautilus Minerals has announced the project is to begin in early 2018. According to Nautilus Minerals PNG Country Manager Mel Togolo, the project has strong government and local support. Togolo said when mining starts, there will not be any tailings as the ore is to be exported to China for processing. Meanwhile, Mining Minister Byron Chan told the PNG Mining and Petroleum Conference in Port Moresby that changes endorsed by Cabinet in 2013, introduced into the revised Mining Act 2015, covers seabed mining. And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3375 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3300 US dollars, $0.4534 Australian dollars, 1.3077 euro and 40.14 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa and copper all closed the day higher. Palm oil, crude oil and copper closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 1 point lower, the ASX closed at 1 point higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 1 point higher. You're with Friday's news. We'll have more for you when we come back. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. Now, a private school in Port Moresby is advancing education for its students. Twinkie Winkie International School has embarked on reforming its curriculum to better educate its students. The school was privileged to have Prime Minister Peter O'Neill visit their school recently.
Twinkie Winkie International School, established in 2003, has been committed to improving the level of education for its students. It has grown from 3 students to over 350 students currently. Though the journey has been financially challenging, it has remained focused on its purpose. Founder and director Naomi Kowes have huge plans for the school going into the future.
Twinkie Winkie is locally owned and operated international school, and what we intend to do is to groom our future generation with modern skills and technology. Our dream is to expand the school and even build this classroom to another higher level, so we have more classroom spaces for our children.
In his recent visit to the school to open the school's new classrooms, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill was pleased with the effort private schools like Twinkie Winkie are doing to advance education for Papua New Guinean children. O'Neill says the government will continue to support private schools in their endeavours.
Because by 5 to 7 years, now it's 4 years now, so in 8 years' time, we will have double the number of kids trying to go to school because of free education. So we must not wait until 8 years' time to go, now we have double the number, so why we will put them all away? No, that. We must start building more classrooms today, and that's why we're putting money directly to schools.
Mickey Cavera, National MTV News.
Village children did not have all the luxury of owning a bank account, but that all changed yesterday. Members from the BSP team and the Rigo District LLG members made a special announcement. Rigo MP Honourable Anop Hala supported his district with 100,000 kina to open BSP kids accounts.
All our kids to develop saving habits or get into the culture of saving money. And if he continues to save throughout his life, he will be a totally different person than if he doesn't save.
The absence of financial literacy can lead to making poor financial decisions that can have adverse effects on the financial health of an individual. Take charge of your money. This was Bank of South Pacific's message to the Sarawak villagers in the Rigo district of the Central Province.
In rural areas where many depend on subsistence agriculture to earn an income, the need for a savings culture is important. BSP Banking Education Manager Cynthia Asi says the bank is teaching villagers basic financial knowledge through the Banking Education and Financial Literacy Program.
Basically, Banking Education was a department formed with BSP to tackle the issue about financial literacy and pretty much what our customers don't know about the products that we sell. We're very good at pushing our products, marketing it. One of the things that the bank realized was that our customers aren't really fully utilizing the services that we do have.
Financial literacy is more than being able to balance a checkbook, compare prices, or get a job. It includes skills like long-term vision and planning, and will discipline villagers on how to use those skills daily.
Right now, our target, as of last week, we were sitting at about 26,000 participants that were trained in financial literacy on the savings and budgeting modules.
Over 200 villagers signed up for mobile banking and 100 opened new bank accounts. Going into Port Moresby is also an option not preferred by many villagers, as they consider it expensive and unsafe. Marilyn Diaukatam, National MTV News.
Along with White Ribbon Day and 16 days of activism, the OneTalk Counselling Helping Line is an initiative set up to combat violence against women and children, particularly sexual violence. The project is a telephone hotline program that helps women and children experiencing or have come out of violence. The project was launched on the 9th of August this year.
The recently established Counselling Hotline is another one of the many support groups that continue to battle violence against women and children in PNG.
Actually, what this project does is we have the trained counselors who are providing crisis counseling. They provide safety plans for survivors who are facing some FSV problems, and provide information for survivors where they can access help from.
The Hotline program currently has 5 graduate counselors working under 2 senior counselors. Statistics from a non-government organization, PNG Child Fund, show that 65% of Papua New Guinean women are subject to physical and sexual violence by male family members, and 68% report having experienced gender-based violence by intimate partners. While 44.5% of pregnant women have reported sexual violence by their partner, 58 of them have reported physical violence.
Yeah, sometimes we do receive, the counselors do receive a lot of calls. To date, after the last 4 months, they've received like 700 plus calls so far.
Senior Project Officer Wesh Siku said the project aims to help as many women and children as possible in the fight to eliminate violence against women and children in PNG. Lorraine Gabina, National MTV News.
A total of 135 recruits graduated today at the Goldie River Training Depot outside Port Moresby. The recruits have been challenged to uphold discipline in their line of duty. Kairukuhiri MP Peter Isowaimo was the reviewing officer at today's pass-out.
While tensions were high between the police and PNGDF soldiers in the city, on the outskirts a group of soldiers donned their military attire to march out in style. Ahead in maintaining national security for the 2017 elections and the 2018 APEC summit, Commander PNGDF Brigadier General Gilbert Toropo encouraged the new soldiers not to lose focus on their mandated duty. PNGDF admits these soldiers are not fully trained. Platoon commanders are now expected to fully harness these soldiers to become fully fledged soldiers of the Papua New Guinea Defence Force. Due to the government's expectation of 5,000 men by 2017, PNGDF had to reduce its training time from 6 months to 3 months. Kairukuhiri MP Peter Isowaimo believes these soldiers can deliver if they practice self-discipline and avoid peer pressure. He urged them to be role models to most youths who are continuously being blamed for social problems. He also wants the cadet scheme reintroduced in schools to instill disciplinary values to youths to keep down on the social problems. Mickey Cavera, National MTV News.
The Department of Personnel Management's delay in signing the Nurses Awards has raised concerns and disappointment with the PNG Nurses Association. The Nurses Awards includes an increase to their base salary and the various allowances such as on-call and risk allowances. The current awards agreement expired in 2013 and the new agreement has not been signed since.
The PNG Nurses Association is one of the biggest unions in the health department, and with the amount of work and risk the nurses take, NA's executive feels that what they are paid is not enough. They were not happy with the Department of Personnel Management for not attending a meeting yesterday. Acting National President of PNG's Nurses Association, Stephen Nowick, said the meeting yesterday was purposely set to get an exact date to sign the agreement.
A show of no respect to a group of professionals.
PNG-NA said if negotiations failed, they would have to stop work. Since the Department of Personnel Management have delayed the signing of the agreement for more than 2 years, Stephen Nowick said DPM was given until midday today or a nationwide strike would be declared.
PNGDF will not accept any more reassurances or any more sweet talks. They will either provide us the document either this afternoon or tomorrow before lunch for us to sign the agreement.
Nowick confirmed in a statement today that the DPM as of yesterday had not responded. The union is now making legal arrangements with the Industrial Register's office for a nationwide stop work.
We've got instruments ready to pursue this issue through the Office of the Industrial Registrar for a nationwide stop work.
Melisi Goviro, National MTV News.
We have the latest on the boxing in Kavieng and more with Trukai Sports up next.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Now, the National Boxing Championships entered their semi-final and quarter-final rounds today. Last night saw the fighters battle it out in the elimination round, with many new talents being showcased all throughout the night. Some of PNG's elite boxers also took to the ring, exhibiting their skills.
A total of 22 boxers have qualified into the semi-finals. Bougainville has come in strong into the competition with a total of 6 boxers going through. A lot of new talent is emerged in the first day of competition, with many putting up a good fight against PNG's best. Representing the Highlands region, Ben Ocker from the Eastern Highlands province unfortunately lost his bout to Mekio's Noel Echo. Also representing Enga, fighting in the 52 kg division, was Henry Miria, who smashed his way through to a victory, ending a sport in the semis. In the women's division, it was all serious business as Naomi Ray, representing Kavieng, went up against Edwina Sahoto from North Bougainville Boxing Association. The women showing no mercy in the ring and also expressed frustration after the match. Philo MacGyver ended the night's bouts with a win against Karen Damien from Kavieng. Elijah Levette, National MTV Sports, Kavieng.
To football, newcomers to the OFC Champions League, Ley City Dwellers, are looking forward to take on the Oceania Football Elite in next year's Champions League. Coach Peter Gunemba is certain his players will step up to expectation come game day. Shane Soroya with this report.
The club formed just 2 seasons ago, following the demise of Ley FC, but has already won a maiden national title, finishing runners-up behind Hekari United in the minor premiership and defeating Medang in the grand final. Head coach Peter Gunemba says the O-League offers them another daunting challenge. Gunemba says most of his players are new, apart from former Hekari duo Raymond Gunemba and Nigel Debinyaba. But they both transferred to the new club late last season to form Ley City Dwellers, and these were the 2 players who led the team to win the National Soccer League title. The rest of the players are Ley-based. Gunemba also said he knows the standard in the O-League is very high, but he is banking on his players to prove their competitiveness against the regional heavyweights, Auckland City and Amikale FC, in their group. Ley City is one of 2 PNG clubs in next year's competition, along with Hekari United, who won the O-League in 2010. Shane Soroya, National MTV Sports.
Still on football, the PNG Under-20 women's national coach Lisa Cole arrived in the country today to begin preparations for next year's World Cup. Cole, who has worked with women's football in the United States, brings a wealth of experience working with young women.
And recently appointed as the new head coach for the Under-20 women's soccer team, Lisa Cole is ready to share her experience for what looks to be the country's biggest ever sporting event.
I mean, the first task is obviously to select the players, to make sure we have the right players on the team. So we'll be doing that this week, and then to get them in camp and get them all on the same page, to organize ourselves. with our formation and make sure that we are able to represent PNG well in the World Cup.
Lisa will be in town for 3 weeks before she takes a break for the festive season. She plans to design a training schedule once she learns more about the players and will be working in different parts of the country in preparation for the World Cup.
I'd get picked up here and then we can start talking about players and about preparation for the camp.
So you'll be mainly based in Moresby or going up to Leh as well?
We'll be in Port Moresby. We'll also be up in Goroka. I think we're going to go up to the Olympic Training Center that is up there. And we'll do a little bit of stuff in Leh as well. And then we'll take some international trips to get some games.
FIFA CEO for the local organizing committee, Seamus Martins, is excited about the World Cup and is certain the games will bring about positive changes. Cole takes over from previous national coach Gary Phillips and will begin working with the team almost immediately, with a session confirmed for this Sunday. Jaylee Sapies, National MTV Sports.
The Union of the European Football Association's Secretary-General, Gianni Infantino, flew into Papua New Guinea to address the OFC Executive Committee during their meeting in Port Moresby today, with the OFC Executive Committee in the nation's capital to discuss the future of regional football. The FIFA presidential candidate hopes to garner support as he presented his case to world football's top post.
Who has vast experience in working in the different levels of football in Europe, said the Oceania region has much to offer world football and also vice versa. And while he acknowledges that a lot more development programs and infrastructure upgrades still need to be done in the region, the world beckons for Pacific footballers.
Yes, of course. I mean, next year with the girls' World Cup, it's a very important tournament, and I think it has really boosted as well the football with the stadiums, with the training grounds. It will boost really the football in the country, not only girls' football, but in general. So it's a very important competition. It's a World Cup.
His main purpose in the country to offer support to Oceania's 11 member associations as he stands for election in February to the top post of world football. In May 2015, FIFA was thrown into turmoil amidst corruption charges involving several of their high-ranking members, and most recently, FIFA President Sepp Blatter and UEFA President Michel Platini have both been suspended for 90 days pending an investigation over a separate matter altogether.
I see myself as a candidate not of Europe, but a candidate of football, and I think this is the message that I try to convey here, and the feedback I got in this respect was very positive. You know, my experience is, of course, mainly today with European football, but also in Europe we have big associations, we have small associations.
Jeremy Moggy, National MTV Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports, a new high-performance training centre and a PNG Games update. Up next, don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
The government has allocated 30 million kina to build a new sports high-performance training centre here in Port Moresby. The project will be constructed next to Sir John Guy Stadium in Waigani for PNG's elite athletes, allowing them to train on home soil rather than overseas. Godwin Eki has this report.
The PNG government is now working closely with the PNG Olympics Committee as well as other sporting bodies to build a new and bigger higher performance training centre at an estimated budget of 30 million kina. Minister for Sports Justin Kichenko says the aim of the project is to keep all our elite athletes in the country, making their home a training hub for all athletes representing Papua New Guinea and to produce our very own homegrown talent. He said the O'Neill Dion government has supported the plan and has agreed for the project to start next year. The project will go on tender for interested companies to take on the project, with the 30 million kina already allocated.
It's all about taking our athletes to the next level in a professional environment that they have all the facilities available for them, no matter what sporting code you play. And this high performance centre will be built here at Sir John Guy's Stadium, so that all the facilities are a one-stop shop when it comes to sporting excellence in our country. So the tenders will go out this year, and expressions of interest as well will go out this year, so that we get a feel of what we can expect from contractors to build this brand new sports enhancement building dedicated to sporting excellency in our country.
The new sports facility will also be used by PNG's elite athletes for their training sessions with their coaches in preparations for their national and international events. Meanwhile, the current High Performance Center will still be used by the athletes until the new one is ready. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
And that's a wrap for Trukai Sports. We'll have your weather details for tonight up next.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Details for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Mostly fine for all centres except for Kerma, expecting light evening showers. And that's how we end tonight's bulletin. I'm Lorraine Genia. On behalf of the entire EMTV News team, have a safe weekend. Good night.